Good morning or afternoon, everybody. This is Tammy, your host of Trucking with Tammy. As you've read, or as I've said, we are doing a whole series this week on investors who claimed that they had some bad business dealings with Chamaine Jeffers and her Truck Biz in a Box platform. Today, we are going to speak to one of the investors, Crystal Young, who invested about $50,000 in the Truck Biz in a Box program with Chamaine Jeffers. And she's claiming that Chamaine did not deliver what she promised. So I'm going to bring Crystal up. We are going to talk to Crystal about her experience and how this played out for her. So one moment while I bring her up. Good
Hi.
morning. Hi, Crystal. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Well, welcome to Trucking with Tammy podcast.
Oh, I'm excited to be here.
So today, so you are the second person to go public with your business dealings with Chamaine Jeffers.
Yeah, yeah,
So we are
definitely.
we are going to talk about how you came into contact with Chamaine and your business dealings, and how everything played out for you and what the future is looking like. Okay.
Okay. Uh,
So we. Oh, I'm sorry.
go ahead. Go
so
ahead.
so you did you curious question before we get started. Did you have any experience in the trucking industry before
Oh
this
yeah,
interaction?
I have. I got my CDO with CR England, and I used to be trucking for a little bit, but I decided to stay home and homeschool my daughter. But even before that, like not before that, but like after that, I got my LLC, and I was actually had a delivery route, and I would deliver pharmaceutical drugs to retirement homes at night. So that's where I got my LLC.
Yeah, so you actually had a company called CT Reliable Transportation LLC, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And it looks like you actually set this LLC up back in 2019.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you actually looks like came into contact with Chamaine Jeffers around 2022.
Yeah, that's correct. I
Okay.
saw her on Truck and Hustle, and I saw that she had a wonderful business deal, and I was like, well, I was gonna go in on that because it seems so good, and because I knew a little bit about it, but I didn't know the back end. So I was just looking for something passive for me and my family.
Okay. And what kind of training did um did did Shemaine offer you any training before the contract? Were you looking at any of her other programs before you went with the Truck Biz in a Box?
No. I just called and see about it, and my husband, we talked about it. What I previously was going to do was like just like put my toe in it, put like $1,000 down. That was like the different tiers he had, like 1,000, 15,000, 35, and then 50, which was the top tier. And like my husband's like, no, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna go to the 50,000 because we don't want to share because they had other people in there, and so they had to sign a contract and all that. And he said, "Oh, that might not be reliable. Let's do the 50,000." So that's pretty much what happened at that
Okay,
time.
so you were saying that at the time that you came into contact with the Truck Biz in a Box, their tiers, how many tiers did they have?
I think it's like at least I know it's 1,000. That's the lowest tier.
Okay.
15,000, and then 35,000, and then 50,000, and that's the
So
top tier.
when we had Tezra on the show earlier this week, she had sent us one of the tier structures
Hmm.
advertisements, and the one she sent us, the top tier was 15,000, which allowed you to just be one owner. You didn't have to share ownership.
Hmm.
So you were saying there was two more tiers past that, a 35 and a 50. So what did those tiers provide that the other ones didn't?
Where it's like the back, like in the office, the like forest tags, insurance, the truck, whatever back in they have for us, like all the office work.
Okay.
Um, so that was pretty much it. And the drivers,
Drivers. Okay.
and what else? That's all I remember for as her providing the for the package.
Because your contract that you sent me that I looked over, it looks pretty identical as far as services offered as Tezra's.
Okay, good.
So
Okay.
I was kind of curious what the difference was with the pricing. I
Uh,
didn't know if it was trucks. I didn't know exactly what you were getting for that $50,000.
for her, I think it's like it wasn't hers in 2021. Is that
Mm-hmm.
correct? That's
Correct.
probably why. She updated her website at that time, and so it she kind of revised it where it got more money. You had to
Restructured,
spend more money.
probably.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
what
It
happened.
might have been the cost of the trucks, because
Yeah,
about that
pretty
time.
much.
So, okay, so you watched all her stuff, you talked to your husband, and without any history of the back end of trucking, you said, "Let's do this."
Well, well for me, I had a book. I was even if she is out of the way, I wanted to learn the business myself so that I can do it myself and have my own fleet. So I brought a book. I was reading on it, but during the time frame when because we're in a group for us the investors, and during that time frame, I was trying to learn dispatching. Um, she did credit reporting as well for the business, and I was learning how to do the back end office stuff for myself.
Okay. So she was providing training services for that for you?
Yeah, it was
Was that
free
in,
for me.
okay, was that included with your package, or did you have to pay for anything outside of that?
I didn't pay. She offered it for me free. I guess she felt better. I don't know. I'm not sure, but but I was like, if she offered it free, and so I took advantage of it. You know.
Okay. So, when you approached her that you were interested in the business, the truck biz in a box,
Mhm.
um, how much detail did she give you about how the process was going to work moving forward?
Um. Well, for her, I asked her when is the truck is going to be on the road, and the email that you got, and she
Mhm.
said it was. Let me see. Let me read it.
So it looks like on February
Oh yeah,
15th,
yeah. Hmm.
this is the she sent me these email guys. So it looks like she had you notarize the contract. So you reached out to her,
Hmm.
and did you before you signed the contract, before you asked about the delivery, how much of a conversation was there about what she was going to do for you?
What she told me was weekly what they gross was 2,000. That's the low end. They're between 3,000 a week. And so I thought that's awesome and stuff like that. And we talked to one of her investors, and she said she was doing great for as getting weekly settlement payments. And
Okay.
we didn't really discuss too much, but it was more of, this getting somebody in, talking to us, saying how much they get paid, where actually where the truck might be, because she already had the trucks already.
Okay, so
There.
that's my question. She
Hmm.
said she already had trucks. Were
Yes.
these her trucks that she owned, or did she advise that she was leasing these? What did she tell you about where these trucks came from?
She said she already owned it. It's in her name, but
Okay.
it's like we had to pay payments on it, and the
Okay.
trailers is rented.
Okay.
So we had to pay payments on that as well, and that will come out of the settlement.
Okay. So you were under the understanding that she owned trucks. You were going to be buying those trucks from her. You
Yeah,
guys were going to be renting trailers from a third party. She
yeah,
was going to be providing drivers, and she would be sending you a weekly settlement statement.
yes, ma'am.
And this is all the conversation that you had prior to signing the contract.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then she sent you this contract, which is pretty thick. So I'm not going to
Yes.
go over
And
all
I
of
read the
this.
whole thing before I
Okay.
even signed. I read the
Okay.
whole thing.
So you had to get it notarized.
Yes, ma'am.
So did you seek legal counsel to go over the contract before you signed it?
I did not. That was my problem. I did not.
Okay. Did the person that did the notary have anything to say about the blank pages where there was
No.
zero information filled out?
No.
Okay. Because that to me is a red flag. When you have to sign it and notarize it, normally a lawyer or notary, in my past experiences, have always had you put something in there,
Okay.
maybe to be determined or so forth.
Okay.
But that wasn't, so I wasn't curious if that was a red flag or what her explanation for that was.
Well, I was assuming this was in my mind. Excuse me. This was in my mind that even though she advertised and said that your name, your business name, is going to be on the truck, I was assuming that she interchanged the trucks from different investors. That's what my mind was. At.
Okay.
But
That's not what the terms of the contract were, right?
yeah,
So
yeah, exactly.
okay. So you were supposed to be getting a truck from her. So part of the when you signed this contract, part of the responsibilities was setting up the LLC, which you already had.
Mm-hmm.
So it also said the equipment would be assigned to you, and the plates would be in your name. Did you get any paperwork showing that the
No,
plates were in your name?
no, because everything was in her name. That's what she was saying. There's nothing in my name, in my business
Okay.
name at all. No.
So she was supposed to be setting up and managing your trucking business, but
Mm-hmm.
you're saying there wasn't actual a trucking business set up?
I just feel like there was no truck, and then she was always complaining that there was no driver. But the thing is, for me, I'm proactive, so with me, I'm advertising on different platforms to get a
Okay,
driver.
so
Yeah.
let's go back because before you have a
Okay.
driver, you have to have a truck.
Yeah, of course.
So she told you she had trucks on her lot. She already owned trucks.
Hmm.
And you did end up sending me two statements that you got. So when did the truck pop up? When did you get the truck?
I believe between it might have been in March, but she didn't have a driver.
Okay, but let's start with the truck. Did she send you VIN numbers? Did she send you any paperwork of the truck
No,
that you were gonna have any information about it?
none. No, she did not.
Mileage, year, nothing?
But the thing she did say it's 2015 fake liner, and that was it.
Okay, do you have the email or the correspondence with that, or was it a phone call?
It was a phone call.
It was a phone call. Okay. So
Yeah.
she never filled out this information that she
No,
had in the contract?
actually, it wasn't even a phone call. It was actually in the forum that we are in all the investors in. So they
Oh,
had a
in
list
the group?
of yeah, yeah. It was had a
Okay.
list of all the investors, and then she assigned a different truck to you.
Okay. Okay. So she said you got a 2015, but you didn't have any paperwork of that. Okay. And
No.
then your next obstacle was needing a driver.
Yes.
Okay. And how did that go?
She's always asking for a driver in the forum. She's like, I need a driver, I need a driver. I mean, she had meetings about that and everything. But
Oh,
for
it's an
me,
industry wide problem. It is.
for me, I'm proactive. So I actually I came a member of the National Association of Small Trucking Companies, and I got a membership from there, and also a driving. I was under the driver recruiting program. I had to pay for that too. So these people that they're recruiting, they're sitting to me, and so they have 2 years experience, no infractions, nothing. So I'm sending her 30 drivers that are qualified, but she said no, I don't have any drivers. So I don't understand. I'm advertising. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do on my end. But why can't you do what you're supposed to do on your end?
Right. So you got the truck.
Yes.
So you waited for the truck, and now you have this truck, and she's saying, but there's no driver. So once she assigned the truck, are you having to make truck payments?
No, I didn't make any truck
Okay.
payments or anything because
Okay.
I don't know. She just, I guess it came out her bank account. I don't know, but I wasn't making any truck payments.
So at this point, it's just the initial $50,000 that you sent her.
Yeah.
And okay. So how much time went? So your contract was signed on February 15th.
Yeah.
And your funds were sent in, or sorry, 17th, you signed the contract. You sent in your 50,000 on February 15th, though. When you think it was about March that you got the truck, when did she tell you she had a driver?
We wasn't like, you see those statements? It says a September time frame, but it was her truck and her driver. I mean, she said, "I give you the best truck. It's my truck and my driver." So let me go ahead in September time frame, and it only lasted a week and broke down for a week.
Okay,
that week.
what do you mean her truck and her driver?
Meaning, like, that's how she said it. Like, I understand that I didn't have a truck like in my name. It was in her name. So she was saying it's, I get the best truck and my best driver. So I don't get what she was saying there because it's in her name. It's her truck, right? And her drivers and employees. So
Okay.
it broke down and it was in the repair shop. So
That seems to be like the thing that we're hearing a lot right off the bat. So everybody says the same thing. So it ran for 2 weeks.
Was it 2 weeks?
You gave me 2 statements, so
okay.
I wasn't quite sure. There was it 2 statements? Let me
yeah,
pull
it was
it
2
back
statements.
Up. Yeah, so that would have been 2 weeks, right?
I thought it was a week, but it might have been 2 weeks.
Is it 1 statement per week or?
Yeah.
Okay, so you sent me. Well, they're both. Let's see here. Bear with me, guys, while I pull up the statement here. We have, looks like pay statement for February 4th, 2022. 3 pages long. And then May 20th, 2022.
May 20th?
Yeah.
I didn't have anything in May.
So.
What?
Yeah. So the statements you sent me,
why she put it in May? Because it was a September.
Well, I'm curious because the first pay statement that she sent you is dated February 4th, and that was before you signed your contract with her. Did you not notice that?
No, I didn't. God. Nothing before your contract. How is that possible?
That's a great question.
Possible?
That is a great question. So the first statement, if you would pull up the email you sent me.
Okay, let me see. Actually, I can find it. It's in here somewhere.
So it says pay statement date May 20th, and the dates of the trips are in May.
No, that was the September. No, that's no possible way.
That's what's on here.
But that's not right. It was September. I'm afraid.
The first one was dated February 4th. For runs that were done January 26th and February 1st, which was before.
So this
you
is
signed your contract.
The dates are lying, right?
Yes.
The dates
yes.
are wrong.
So
it's September. It was 1 week. What the world? I didn't even pay attention to that. Thank you for doing
You're
that.
welcome.
Oh
You're
God.
welcome. So yeah, but in your records, when she messaged you, the truck actually only ran when?
It was at the end of September of 2022. That last week, and it broke down.
Can you pull up in your email when she sent you these statements?
Oh, I
Do you
hope I
still have
got
that?
it.
Do you still have access to that? I
Okay.
wasn't quite sure. Paper trail is very important with what
Yeah.
you're going through right now. So,
See.
yeah, I found that interesting. That's why I printed these out today because
Mm.
dates are very important.
See if I find it still. I
So
might have to look around for it.
while you're doing that, so you were saying she told you in March she had a truck, but then she didn't have a driver until September, and then she
Yeah.
ran them for 1 week, and then told you the truck broke down.
Yes.
That is crazy. So all this time from March to September, what was she saying? What was her excuse?
She was saying that everything for as back then it was low. And so she didn't have a driver. She was still looking for drivers, and it was very slow. You're going to get in a negative. You don't have to pay out. So you're just like, okay, that's fine if you just not, trying to drive our trucks back and forth to deliver. But the main thing was that she didn't have drivers. She was always asking for drivers, and I gave her plenty of drivers. That's
Right.
clarified. So it was always that. So that's the only thing that she was talking about, drivers.
Okay. So then you had a driver for a week. The truck went in the shop. What happened after that?
Then I was like a couple of weeks after that, she called me and she said, you need to call into the repair shop. She did give me a VIN number actually that time, but the VIN was the wrong VIN. I called in and said, I gave the VIN and said, that's not the right number. And what happened was I had to give them the her name to even get to the truck. So just to check on the truck, and I was checking on the truck. And that's what I was doing. And then after that, we had a meeting within in the forum of the group,
Mm-hmm.
and she was saying like that people were paying on the repairs of the trucks, and that like with mine, she was saying you owe like $7,000 some dollars. You have the money. I was like, I don't have it because there's no truck coming on the road. You didn't have a driver. It's in the repair shop right now, and now you want me to pay $7,000 more to repair it. And I was like, I don't have it. She said, I'm actually taking out money to repair these trucks. I'm like, what do you want me to do? I don't know what I'm supposed to do because, you know, you're not doing what you're doing for me as a business owner and actually getting the trucks on the road and getting drivers and doing what you're supposed to do.
So let me make sure I understand this correctly.
Mm-hmm.
You made a $50,000 investment into this for a truck. She didn't give you a truck. She didn't give you a driver. She came back and she said, "Oh, I have a truck, but I don't have a driver."
Mm-hmm.
And then that was March. And then we have April, May, June, July, August, September. She comes back and says, "Hey, you've been sitting here. I'm going to put a driver in my truck for
Mm-hmm.
you." He
Mm-hmm.
runs a week. It breaks down, which isn't even supposed to be your truck.
Mm-hmm.
And she wants you to pay 7,000 now for a truck that you don't even know where it came from.
Exactly.
That's weird.
Isn't it? Right.
That is weird. So at no point did she say, so if you have a truck, did you find it weird that she wasn't having you make payments on this truck?
Well, I was thinking more of since it's in her name, like why would I have to pay for something that's in her name? Right?
Well, according to your contract, you were going to lease it from her. And according to her
Yeah.
contract, the title was going to be in her name, but you were going to be
Yeah.
on it with her, and the plates were going to be in your name. So that would
I
make,
never got anything in that.
and you never received any of that.
No, I didn't. I
But
didn't
you
get
also
it.
weren't making payments. So where did she tell you your $50,000 was going to go towards?
Well, $50,000 were to get the truck, which she already had. So that was a little weird.
Was it like a down payment? What I
Yeah, it was a
mean,
down payment for the truck, but she already had a truck. So I don't.
and
That's
it
kind
was
of
for
confusing.
2015
2015. If
because
the
your
amount,
contract
yeah,
because your contract was for rent payments of 100 and for $101,000. So you were paying $101,000 for a 2015.
and for over 400,000 miles on a truck, and I'm
Did you
like, watch,
price? Did you price trucks? Because I don't see where your $50,000 came off this price.
because the thing I think, well, now looking back at it, I think
Mm-hmm.
she put down like 10,000 on it. I'm not sure, but and
Okay.
she pocketed the worst,
Okay.
and
So
that's
you
what I think.
so her actual where the money was going through, that was never established in writing.
Not exactly, no.
Okay. Okay. Was that a red flag for you?
I was thinking like I really wanted to work, and I was hoping that I would get this money coming in, but I didn't think of it as a red flag.
You
I didn't
trusted
think
her.
about it. Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
So you saw her, you saw all these people following her, you saw her on this truck and hustle, and
Hmm.
you believed in what she was selling.
Yeah, exactly. Because it could work.
It,
Because
it,
like
it could, it could, it definitely could.
I'm thinking for myself, like if she had gotten a FedEx route and put well, all the money that she got a FedEx route, put the trucks on the FedEx route. This is a dedicated lane. It could have worked for me, but
It
she
definitely could
didn't
have.
do. She didn't want to go that route, so I don't know.
Right. Well, I mean, honestly, the whole thing, it could have worked if you would have had a truck and you would have had a driver. It definitely could have worked in your favor, but it didn't. So when September came and went, what happened after that?
After that, I just like a couple of weeks later, I text her and said, "I'm just want my money back." Then she was saying, "Well, the only way you get your money back if you sell the truck or somebody get your package." I'm like, "How am I going to sell the truck? It's in your name. How's that possible? There's no way I can do that." So,
Right.
then she trying to persuade me to get another package, which costs more, into a newer truck, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm like, I was done after that because she was telling me
So,
she's going to sell the truck, the old truck
mm-hmm.
from the repair shop, and give me
Right.
the bulk of the money, and then
Right.
get into the new trucking package, right? With a newer truck. That's what you told me, but
Weren't
that
you
never
already in
happened.
the weren't you already in the highest package that she had?
Yeah, at that time, yes.
Okay. And but then all of a sudden a newer package popped up?
Yeah, she was trying to persuade me to do it, but I did not do it. No. After that, I
Okay.
just stopped contact with her. I could not.
And,
I couldn't do it anymore.
and then what did you do?
After that, it was a Marcus that called me. He was asking me if about her, and I was like, well, I'm just tired, and I want to sue her. And he said, oh, there's another lady trying to sue her, and she got a lawyer in Florida, and they gave me the information for lawyer and stuff like that. And it was so much money. He wanted to $5,000 just to write a letter. And I was like, oh, I don't have that much money. I don't know what else to do. But back in my mind, I said, like, if she did this to me, I know she does it to somebody else. So that's how I just let it go after that.
Okay.
That's when I kind of contact with Tezra and saw the post from LinkedIn and stuff like that.
Right,
So that's
right.
yeah.
So, did you ever receive any other correspondence or documents from her after that?
No, not after that.
Any tax documents?
Nope, I did not.
Okay. And when you received those two statements with those dates on it, were there any funds with that? Did she send you any proceeds?
Just those two that you have, and that's pretty much it.
That she sent
Nothing
you the
else.
money that those reflected?
Yeah.
Okay. That is weird. And so now what steps have you taken
Uh,
to
Not much because it's so costly, and
Mhm.
because these lawyers they want so much money for me
Right.
to write a letter and do the civil case against her. I just didn't have the money to really sue her. I had no choice but just to take the L.
Right. Did they tell you anything about your contract or about your situation though when you spoke to them?
They said I have a case, but that's pretty much it.
Did
We
they
looked
say
at it.
what the grounds were for that case?
I like breach of contract.
Breach of contract. Okay.
Yeah.
And I know some of the other investors had filed federal charges against her. Had you done that as well?
Yeah, I did federal charges. I went to the police about it, a report, police report. I went to the Attorney General in Florida as well. So I did that, all that.
You did. Okay. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So what's coming up next? What are we
I'm
um
hoping justice. I'm hoping
right,
that
right.
I'm hoping that nobody else gets scammed by her because she's been scamming so many people, and it's nobody stopping her. I was hoping that like us going to the FBI that they would have done something and see like her to alert, but nothing has happened to her. She's still free to do
Is she
whatever she
still selling
wants.
the package? Do you know if is she still
No, she's selling courses. She's still doing the CDL for life thing. I think, but like, how's that legal if she's not registered?
I don't know. That's a good question. I was also advised that her LLCs were all inactive.
Yeah,
Um,
you
and
can't
that
do that.
there was a I do believe I saw a couple civil suits myself. Tezra said that she found 8.
Oh
I
wow.
haven't verified that. I have saw 3
Oh.
myself in New
Mm,
York and Florida.
mm.
Um, pertaining to that. And has anybody, Chamaine or anybody, reached out to you with this information out? Um, besides
No,
the investor group? No.
no, nothing else.
So how has this affected your view of the trucking industry now?
Yes, you gotta be careful. I should have went with my gut feeling. Like, just give the $1,000 at least. It won't like really study like people and what they're doing. Like, study their business thoroughly. It makes me think like I should have not been a little bit more knowledgeable about it than just going in on it. But but it is what it is. Live, you learn, and you do better. So.
Yeah. And how does it find $50,000? That's a
Yes,
lot
it's a
of
lot
money.
because we took a loan. My husband took a loan
Oh
out,
no.
and so it's like I had to use my credit cards just to get food necessary.
So
So
you're gonna be
I'm
paying
just
back that 50,000 for a long time.
it's a lot. It's a lot
Yeah,
on us.
yeah, that is a lot. That is a lot. Well, I hope you guys, I've spoke to, I spoke to a group of you the other day, of the investors that were affected, and I know everybody's trying to work together now, moving forward,
Yeah,
and
definitely.
I hope you guys are able to get some kind of resolution, and I hope moving forward, that this has been a good learning experience for you guys, and it serves as a learning experience for our viewers.
Yeah, just
So
be mindful. I mean, really be mindful. Make sure you really investigate them. I'm to the point where I'm not even trying to be in any type of business. I'm just trying to get my education and get a good career.
yeah,
That's
trucking
all.
is a great industry. If you aren't being scammed, or yes,
I know,
or
right?
So, um, but it's an expensive one, and this was an expensive lesson for you.
Yeah,
So
it
I am
was.
sorry that this happened to you, that you had this experience, and that it wasn't a very pleasant one. And I hope that, moving forward, that it doesn't, leave too big of a black mark, and you can still do whatever it is that you're setting out in life to do.
Yeah, it's just that, people like her, like people who scam will always scam. So it's always something about like her. She could have did legitly and made so
Mhm.
much money,
Yeah,
but she
yeah,
didn't want to do
yeah,
that.
I think it's a great, pol- it's got a great possibility, if it was done legitly. I think, taking people who aren't familiar with the trucking industry and training them and being very transparent
Yeah.
and doing it in a very legit, transparent way, it has potential. It does.
Yes.
So,
Yes, it
but
does.
transparency and legitimacy is very important, which you did
Yes.
not either of. And there's a lot of gray areas, and there was a lot of red flags in
Yeah,
all
and
of this.
I wish I had just said no
Yeah.
and
I
went
mean,
with my
just
gut.
yes, yes. And I do hope moving forward that they are able to stop this from happening.
Yeah, because nobody deserves to have their money taken. People work hard for that,
Yeah,
and
they do.
nobody deserves that. You
No,
know?
no.
Yeah.
So, is there anything else that you would like to add that I did not cover? I know there was a lot. There was a lot going on during that time period.
During that time, she did give me the free course for as getting credit, building up my credit business. Cause her credit, even though her personal credit was really low, but her business credit was awesome. That's why she can get the houses and stuff like that. And she was showing me how to do it. She gave me trade lines, whatever, from different companies. And also me I had she wanted me to get like a office, a German office. That's what I did, and I rented out an office. I got a business license and stuff like that. And, like it looked really legit, and I wanted to make sure I get so that I could get like other trucks. So if that's why she was trying to
Mhm.
build our business credits to get other trucks, so she get more money coming in.
So she had
So
okay, so I didn't know that part. So she
yeah,
had you actually establish a brick and mortar office.
yeah, actually not no, I did that on my own, but she gave us information on
Oh,
how
oh,
to build our
information.
credit,
Okay.
our credit, our business credit.
Right.
And I got I rented out a building, office space, got my business license, I made my own website. I would make my own website. Also, what else did I do? Trade lines, she gave us trade lines and stuff like that. So trying to buy products and stuff so we can build our business credit and get more trucks from there.
Nice, nice. So
So
I'm glad you learned that. The
yeah.
only the only question that the only concern I had with all that is how were your taxes affected?
Well, I actually put in. I had got somebody professional to do that for me, and they kind of like they said no, you can't have this much, this much going on, so they adjusted it. So yeah, we get a pretty good income tax return, but it wasn't much, but it was decent.
But you were able
But
to claim that 50,000 that you put into the business?
yeah, I did to a certain
Okay.
degree, but they
Okay.
still adjusted it, so it wasn't as much as I thought it's going to be. It was up there until they adjusted it. Say like,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
you're not going to get that.
Yeah, I was wondering with the her not providing any information, how that was gonna affect everybody's taxes for those years.
Yeah, I had a receipt and I gave the information to her, all the information I had, and that's how I got at least something back.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
right.
All right. Well, Crystal, I appreciate you taking the time out to tell our story, tell your story to our viewers. And moving forward, if anybody has been affected by this, please reach out to Crystal Young. You can reach out to Tezra Scott. Tezra is pretty public on her information. She's on LinkedIn. She's on Facebook. You can also reach out to us at Real Women in Trucking or me, Trucking with Tammy, and I can forward you over to the right people. But thank you very much
All
for
right.
viewing
Thank you
this
for having
episode
me.
of Trucking with Tammy. Crystal, thank you for joining us. And everybody, I will see you on the next one.
Mm, bye.